Thanks so much. Thanks for coming. I'm glad you enjoyed the film. This is a great honor. I certainly want to thank SCAD. I want to thank President Paula Wallace. It's a terrific honor. And an award such as this one is obviously extremely gratifying, especially coming from an established, well-regarded film festival such as this one that you've built here, and congratulations on it. It means a lot across the world. So, a Lifetime Career Achievement Award. You know, if you include acting and you do the math, that's 64 years of work. I started when I was 4, so you could figure the rest out. Wow. Well, maybe this is the South, but it feels like a hell of a long way from Mayberry. On a personal note, you know, while this is fun, it's emotional to look back, what's especially gratifying is that I'm so proud of my most recent work as a director. You saw 13 Lives. I have a documentary that's out now, can be seen on Disney Plus, called We Feed People, about Chef Jose Andres and his World Central Kitchen. Well, this creative work has been, you know, amazing and inspiring, because both films are about modern-day heroism and the power of volunteerism. Chef Jose and his World Central Kitchen team, you know, are stunning in terms of what they achieved. You know, please, if you don't know anything about Jose and World Central Kitchen, look them up. WorldCentralKitchen.org is also where you can donate, and they're doing tremendous work. And of course, you've just seen the many heroes of the Tamerlane Cave rescue that we were able to depict. You know, and I loved most this message of cooperation across cultural, political, you know, even ideological and religious lines, to just simply do the right thing for those in need, do the right thing for those boys. And in doing so, they gave governments, they gave societies and people around the world an object lesson in what is possible when we put our hearts, our minds, our bodies, and souls together to achieve. That's the reason that I wanted to make the film, and I'm very proud to have done it. But it's another reason why I want to emphasize the importance of festivals such as this one here in Savannah, especially with its close ties to SCAD, because it's ever more important to keep shining a light on voices from all over the world and acknowledge and amplify their achievements, and recognize the ways that their work, their art, evolves and elevates conversations about life as we know it, and life as we live it, and our paths and our options going forward. And whatever the tone, whatever the running time or the format, that's what cinema does, for the big screen or the small. And more than ever, it's reminding us how much more alike we all are than we are different. A festival like this can also catalyze future collaborators. And I wouldn't have achieved much working alone. I don't know very many in this business who have. SCAD has grown into such an amazing, wonderful place for a new generation of creative collaborators to discover each other and build upon that creative energy. I owe so much to so many people, and also, of course, the support of my family, led by the love of my life, Cheryl, who is remarkable. The ultimate muse, remarkable woman. I took a giant career leap forward when I began working with my partner at Imagine Entertainment, Brian Grazer. Imagine as a company has just broadened and developed strategies to empower a new generation of storytellers who can entertain and enlighten and inspire. It's very exciting, the energy that we've been able to create together. Finally, in looking back, I have a couple of memories that I want to share. It's probably more for the students than anyone else, but in thinking about my career, I go back to a couple of events from the early projects which aren't so famous, but certainly, really benefited me and helped me to grow. The first movie I ever directed was Grand Theft Auto for B-movie king Roger Corman. Roger had a history of launching careers. Martin Scorsese, Jonathan Demme, Francis Coppola, Jim Cameron, on and on, Joe Dante, and I was among that group. He was also incredibly cheap. And as I was working along, I was gaining more and more confidence all the time. And there was this one scene toward the end, we were right on schedule and budget, where I went to Roger and I said, Roger, this is the scene at the Destruction Derby, and at the end, the crowd is supposed to come charging out, and there's supposed to be a riot, and we only have 45 extras budgeted for this big mob scene, And if I could just get 75 extras, I could make them look much, much better. I could move them around and so forth. He said, no, it's 45 extras. And I said, yeah, but Roger, I'm right on schedule. I think I'm a little under budget. Maybe we could just, if I could maybe 65 extras. He put his hand on his shoulder and he smiled and he said, Ron, let me tell you something. If you do a good job completing this picture for me, you'll never have to work for me again. But you've got 45 extras. Well, I learned so many lessons from Roger and learned that you do have to earn your way. You have to prove your way forward. The next story that was very important to me came in a television movie that I directed and produced, starring the great, legendary, multi-Oscar-winning Bette Davis, great icon of screen history. And she loved the role. The movie was called Skyward. It was special for General Electric Theater. She really loved it. She did not like that this guy from a television sitcom called Happy Days was somehow directing this damn thing. But she agreed to take on the role. When talking, I didn't meet her, but when talking to her on the phone, she kept calling me Mr. Howard, and she disagreed with some things, and I had to assert myself as a director, and she was frustrated by that and just kept calling me Mr. Howard. And finally I said, Miss Davis, please feel free to just call me Ron. And she said over the phone, I will call you Mr. Howard until I decide whether I like you or not, and hung up. So now I'm tossing and turning in the night, and I went to my father, Rance Howard, a career actor and writer, and I said, this is really eating me up. And he said, you know what? Every great artist knows, and Bette Davis knows, that she needs a director. Just do your job. Just show up and be prepared. And so I did. And on that first day of directing, I knew that her favorite director in the world had been William Wyler, who always wore a sport coat and a tie. We were shooting in Plano, Texas in August. It was hitting 100 at 8 o'clock, but I was there in my damn coat and tie. And I went up to give her my first piece of direction, and she went, she kind of jumped. And then for the whole crew, loud enough, she said, oh, you frightened me. I saw this child walking up toward me. And I just couldn't help but wonder, what of any consequence could this child possibly have to say to me? And did the Bette Davis laugh. Ho, 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 ho. So I did a laugh, and I just said, gave her the direction and turned around, popping Tums all the way back to the camera, and we did it. The day went on. Finally, there was a moment where I had to give her an adjustment of some staging direction. I did. She said, oh, I don't like that. That won't work. And I said, well, just please try it. I think the scene will flow a little bit better if you exit on the line earlier. And she said, okay, I'll try it. And she tried it, and she did it. And immediately she turned around and she said, you're right, that feels better. Let's shoot it. We did. We shot it. That was her last scene of the day. When it was over, I said, well, Miss Davis, great day. Thank you. I'll see you tomorrow. And she said, okay, Ron, see you tomorrow. And patted me on the ass. So hang in there, student. Hang in there, filmmakers. You keep earning your way. And then when the production was over, and we continued to have our back and forth throughout, but when it was over, she said, I doubted you at first, but you have tremendous ability. You have a lot to offer. In fact, I think you could be another Wilder. Well, I admit I have not yet quite lived up to that lofty prediction, but I'm still trying, and I'm still loving it. And an honor like this, it just adds a little more fuel to that old fire in the belly. So thank you for this. Much appreciated.